opinion matters. And we just welcome you to the show, and we're ready to kick this thing off. Hey, my co-host, my brother Kenny Adams, how you doing tonight, brother? How you doing, man?
What's up, big bro? How you feeling tonight, my brother?
See your face in the place.
Yes, sir. I see you got some steps in this week, as always.
Oh, yeah, gotta do that, brother. Gotta do that. Trying to stay healthy.
My man. Welcome everybody back to the Night Brothers Show. Where else would you rather be on a Tuesday night at 8:05 p.m.? We are here live and direct.
You know it, brother. Again, it's full-fledged basketball season, man. NCAA basketball ready to get started. Hey, man, I'm excited about that. My hometown, Maryland Terrapins representing, so I'm pulling for them. Hope they don't never lose another heartbreaker. But anyway, man, it's going to be exciting.
Absolutely, bro.
But tonight we have an exciting show. Talking about exciting basketball, we have an exciting show. And we're going to get into that in a minute. We want to welcome Miss Cheryl Queen to the show. How you doing, Cheryl Queen?
What's up, Cheryl?
Miss Margaret Nick in the house.
Margaret Nick always in here.
If you're joining us for the first time, guys, we love to have you comment, because your opinion matters here on this show. This is the show where your opinion matters. We love to have your comments. Mimi Lee, good evening, dear. Good to see you.
What's up, Mimi?
Vanessa Turner in the house. So as you come on board, let's say hello so we can acknowledge you.
Absolutely. Welcome, everybody. Chime in as you get on board. Welcome to another exciting show. Like my big brother said, we have a very, very interesting and intriguing guest. We can't wait.
Mr. Slade, how are you, dear? Good to have you in the house.
Welcome our first timers, Q, if anybody out there.
If you're a first timer, please say hello. Just chime in, give us a hello so we can acknowledge you. We love having our first timers on the show. If this is your virgin show, come on in and say hello. Come on and put your toe in the water. The water's warm. The water's fine.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Looking forward to having a good time with everybody tonight. Just, we like to have fun. We like to make things not only informative, but entertaining at the same time. So we're going to have a good time. Tanya Foote, good to have you, Tanya. Good to have your face in the place. Tanya building. Parole, represent.
Welcome, Tanya. Welcome. And like the screen said, if you haven't already, subscribe to the Night Brothers Show. We love to have you aboard. We love to have your input. Your opinion matters. Without any further ado, though, big bro, we got a lot to cover tonight, so hit him with the vibe, my brother.
Yes, sir. Our vibe. The vibe tonight is one of them. It's going to be, I just say it's going to be incredibly interesting, what we're going to talk about tonight, because we're bringing all the way from Atlanta, Georgia, outside of Atlanta, Georgia, a young lady who was formerly of this area, the Indianapolis area, who's going to share her incredible story with us tonight. And that story, man, is some kind of captivating, guys. So we welcome your comments, and we want you to digest this as we talk about the story of triumph over tragedy and the Sylvia Ennis story. This is something that, to me, in my estimation, this could be a feature film. It really could be. And as it unfolds here tonight, I want to see if you guys agree with me and think this is something that should be on film. So, without further ado, Phyllis T. Adams, how you doing? Let's get cracking tonight, guys.
Phyllis said, it's not my first time around.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, T. Definitely, T. You're a regular on the show. As a matter of fact, we're going to have you on again in the very near future.
Peace and love. Welcome.
What's going on, Brother Natural?
What's up, Natural?
Well,
How you doing, brother?
Without all the waiting and the fanfare, audience, we want you to do us a big favor. As we say welcome to the Night Brothers Show, first time appearance for one Miss Sylvia Ennis, Annapolis native, by the way of the ATL nowadays in Georgia. We want y'all to do a big favor, even though it's one of your homegirls for life. No matter where they go, they still got Annapolis blood bleeding red. Say hello and welcome Sylvia to the show, family. Can you do that for me, please? Everybody in the
Hello,
audience.
everybody.
Welcome, Sylvia. This has been a long
Welcome,
time
Sylvia.
coming, but I'm glad it's coming to fruition.
It's been a long time. A long
Long
time.
time coming. So, welcome to the show, dear. How you feeling
Thank
tonight?
you for the invitation. Thank you.
How you feeling tonight?
I feel great.
All right.
Feel
All right.
Gail
Good,
Slocum's first timer. Welcome to
First
the
time,
show.
welcome, Gail. Welcome.
Teresa Davis, welcome to the show. Man, you guys are coming in here tonight. This is a great thing. Darlene Collins, DC, welcome to the show.
DC in the house.
Lisa
Yes,
Slade,
indeed.
I'm excited to have you here, Lisa.
I need my welcomes with Silver. Where my welcomes at? There they go. There they come. Welcome, Silver. See?
Yes.
They got some love for you.
Right, there you go, Cheryl. Welcome, Sylvia, to the show, everybody. Let's show us Night Brothers love.
Thank you.
Sylvia, you ever miss
Hey, how you
Annapolis?
doing?
You ever miss Annapolis being in Georgia? How many years now?
I've been in Georgia 32 years.
Wow.
I miss America sometimes, but Georgia's my new home.
There you go. Well, welcome
Welcome,
Pamela
welcome.
Williams to the show as well. Welcome back, Pamela.
Absolutely. Let's welcome my big brother, Eddie Bernard. Kid Bernard.
Eddie, welcome to the
big
show,
brother.
Eddie.
What's going on, Kent?
Well, you got some love out here. I think that maybe some
That's
of
my
these.
best friend, Pat.
All right, way to go, Pat.
Peace,
Guys,
love,
how
Pat.
you doing?
Hi, Karen.
All right.
Sylvia,
All
did
right,
you and
I
Tanya
love
grew up
this
in the parole area together? Y'all used to hang out as children. Is that right?
Yeah, we still hang out to this day. She came to visit me last year.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
Wow.
Were y'all from the same class in Annapolis?
Yeah, we went to Parole Elementary together, all the way
Wow.
up to Annapolis. Yes.
Wow. All right. Well, we're gonna dive
Roll
all
up.
up into that.
Teresa Davis in the house.
Peace.
Eddie Bernard. Doubling as Kent.
Clark Kent. Wow.
In the house.
All right, y'all. Look, we
Let's
got.
in the house.
We
Tell
gonna have
Kent
to
don't
keep
be
it
telling
moving.
my secrets.
All right, Kent, you heard that right. You know,
You heard that, Kent? Don't be telling no secrets, big bro.
All right. Well, since we
All right,
got
Kat.
a lot to cover with Sylvia, y'all keep the comments coming. Because this is an interactive show for the first timers. We engage with your comments and your questions just as much as we do with the guests and ourselves on screen. So keep them coming. But we're gonna get it moving since we got a lot to cover. Is that all right, Sylvia?
Sure, I'm ready.
All right.
The year was 2013. January 2nd dawned like any other winter day in Atlanta. For Sylvia Ennis, a dedicated clinical business manager at Emory University's School of Medicine, it was just another Wednesday. Little did she know, fate had other plans. Sylvia started her morning as usual. A hot cup of coffee, a quick glance at the news, and then the familiar drive to work. Emory University, with its sprawling campus and stately buildings, had been a part of her life for years. As she drove down Clifton Road, the trees lining the sidewalk stood tall and imposing. Unbeknownst to Sylvia, one of these sentinels was about to break its silent vigil. A towering loblolly pine, weakened by unseen decay, was swaying precariously in the gentle breeze. Its massive trunk, over a century old, held a silent threat. Then everything changed. And a deafening crack split the air. The ground trembled. The massive pine, unable to withstand the weight of its years, finally succumbed. It crashed down onto the unsuspecting traffic below. Sylvia, caught completely off guard, had no time to react. The world around her dissolved into a cacophony of splintering wood, shattering glass, and twisting metal. The impact was explosive. The once peaceful morning erupted into chaos. The falling tree, a behemoth of nature's fury, had crushed Sylvia's car. Its massive trunk slammed into the driver's side with terrifying force. A large limb, thick as a man's torso, pierced through the wreckage. First responders arrived to a scene of utter devastation. Sylvia was trapped, impaled by the tree limb. her life hanging precariously in the balance. Working with desperate speed and unwavering focus, the rescue team sprang into action. Firefighters, paramedics, and police officers worked in unison, their movements a blur of coordinated urgency. The jaws of life whined as they cut through the mangled metal. Each cut, each movement had to be precise, calculated to avoid further injury to Sylvia. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Sylvia was freed from the wreckage. She was rushed to Grady Memorial Hospital, her body battered and broken, her spirit clinging to life. At the hospital, a team of skilled surgeons awaited her arrival, their faces grim, their eyes reflecting the enormity of the task ahead. Sylvia's injuries were extensive, life-threatening. The tree limb had missed major blood vessels, a miracle in itself, but had wreaked havoc on her internal organs. Sylvia's fight for survival was just beginning. Weeks turned into months. The road to recovery was long and arduous, paved with pain, setbacks, and moments of despair. But Sylvia refused to give up. With each passing day, she grew stronger, her spirit unbroken. The Emory community rallied around her, offering prayers, sending cards, and providing unwavering emotional and financial support. Almost 3 years later, Sylvia Ennis stood on the deck of a cruise ship, the warm Caribbean breeze caressing her face. The turquoise waters sparkled under the golden sun, the air filled with the scent of salt and the sound of laughter. This cruise, a celebration of her 50th birthday, had been planned long ago, before the accident had turned her life upside down. Now, it was a testament to her resilience, her unwavering spirit, and the power of the human will to overcome adversity. Sylvia's story is a powerful reminder that even in the face of unimaginable tragedy, hope can endure. It's a story that inspires us all to cherish every moment, to never give up on our dreams, and to believe that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit can triumph.
All right. I don't know if to cry or cheer after that. You know what I mean?
Ooh, child.
How about you, Sylvia? You don't know if to cry or cheer, huh?
Look, y'all got me over ready to cry. You surprised me with that one.
Well, look, that's what we do on the Night Brother Show. We're going to say shout out to a couple people, but Paris Lane, looking forward to conversing with you this weekend. Welcome to the show. But yeah, so look, we're gonna get the Q&A started, and I'm gonna kick it to you, starting with Q. I'm gonna start on a Q from Q. Go ahead, Q, kick it off.
How you doing once again, Sylvia, and welcome everybody else to the show. So Sylvia, we have a lot to cover tonight, and I want you to just give the general audience your background a little bit. Tell us a little bit about your early years growing up in Annapolis, the Parole area. If you would, just tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I was born in Annapolis in Parole. It was 5 of us, 5 siblings, to my mother, Janine Ennis, father, Harvey Ennis, 5 siblings. Gregory was the oldest, Janet was the next person, Marvin the third, Roy the fourth, and then I was the baby of the family. So I grew up in Parole, right across the street from Parole Elementary School. And Parole was, it's a great neighborhood. We had really a lot of fun. Like I said, fun owes me nothing. And I had, we were great friends. Like, me and Tara Cedar, when she rests in peace, I can't get myself in this one out of camera lens. Me and Tara Cedar, if everybody remembers her, rest in peace. She was my first friend in Parole. And I remember the summertime hanging out just at the basketball court. Everybody remembers Parole basketball court. I see y'all.
Absolutely.
And then in the wintertime, I don't remember if you all know, we used to go in the snow and sleigh down the hill over there where Hicks Avenue was. So we had a
Yeah.
great outside of the home fun. Inside the home, no one knows was not as pleasant as it was outside. So, so to be honest, the inside of my home was not like all happy and go lucky there. It wasn't pleasant for me. When I went in that house, it was more dark than it was. I enjoyed being more outside than inside.
Well,
If you want me to,
I salute you for your honesty, in that
right,
regard. A lot of people wouldn't even take the time to say that, but at least you're keeping it real.
right,
Mm-hmm.
right.
Coming to you, Arden.
So
I got you,
So
bro.
I'm asking for time and parole, and then I went to Annapolis Junior High. Then I went to Annapolis Senior High, but no, a lot of people don't know I graduated from Southern High in
Okay.
1981. My
What?
12th grade. Yeah, nobody knows that. I went to live with my grandmother in my 12th grade year, and I graduated from Southern High School. I made that change because, things were getting a little out of control. I've been in the streets since 12, which no one knows, but I was out since 12 hanging out in the streets. So between 12 and 17 was out of control. So I asked my grandmother, could I come stay with her to change the direction of my life? Because if I had actually stayed there, I don't know where I would not be today.
Wow.
Wow.
What are some of your fondest memories of growing up?
Oh, parole, just hanging out with the friends, parole, elementary school. Me and Teresita fighting every day. And we were out there and we would make up the same day, and then we would get our families involved. And me and Teresita, we would make up by the end of the day. But by that time, everybody still was mad at each other. And then just
You made the families mad, and y'all already made up.
we already made up. We had already made up, and the families were angry at each other. And most of the time, like when I got a little older, when I say I was out at 12, I didn't hang out parole anymore. I was just hanging in different places. And one of the places where I say me and Kent been friends since I was 15 was downtown over at, the Kent Bernard over there, hanging out with them in my mid-teens. So I had a decent life outside. Like I said, outside the home, but we had a very volatile home inside.
Okay.
Coming your way, Mr. Kenny.
Sylvia, first of all, thank you for your time and thank you for the story you're about to share with us. But what led you to leave Annapolis and how did you end up in Atlanta?
Well, my sister moved there first. She moved to Atlanta, Georgia. She moved there in the 80s, like 83. And she kept on inviting me to come out. But I was working for the state of Maryland, and I didn't want to lose my pension, which I start getting this month, literally 30 years later. So I told her I would move after I got vested. So I stayed. I used to work at the Anne Arundel County Health Department out off on River Road. I worked there for like 8 years. So I visited her in 1992, had a great time. And then I said, okay, next year is going to be a year that I moved there. So February 1993, I put my resignation in for July 1993. And July the 20th, 1993, I packed up my little car and drove all the way down to Georgia in that 100-degree weather and never looked back. And got the call for a job that Monday, got there on Saturday, got the job call at Emory Monday and started working for Emory right away as soon as I moved here to Georgia.
So how that was less than
So when
what?
you left,
less than a week?
Less than a week, yes.
It was made for you to be there.
So you pretty much answered the second part of my question. So you plan to make that your permanent residence when you left, when you packed up and left?
When I packed up and left, it was my plans to make it my permanent residence. But before that, I had never ever thought about leaving Annapolis. I was going to get married, have 8 children, and just live for a little.
That was the plan. 8.
Have a settled life in, Maryland, the house with the white picket fence. It'd be this great housewife for the rest of my life.
Did she say she wanted a starting 5 and 3 reserves?
She got 3 on the bench.
3 coming off the bench. Coming off the bench.
Baseball team no one on that team. The whole family in.
My goodness.
That's amazing. That's amazing. All right,
So
look.
did you end up with 8?
Let's shift gears. Let's shift gears. Look,
Did
now
you
we
end up
want.
with 8?
I couldn't hear you.
I said, did you end up having 8?
No, only have one.
Okay. You changed your mind after you had the 1, right?
After he was born, I changed that number down to 1.
I thought so.
Wow.
All right, well, look, we want to shift. We want to make this pivot now and dive into what most people probably came here for, to find out and listen to this amazing story from the person, from your perspective, because it's easy to look at a story from the outside peering in because you're not experiencing, you're not going through, you know what I mean? You're just a viewer, you know? So we really want to dive deep and find out. So we're going to kick it to Arden. And Arden, why don't you start off as complex question, multiple question, but go ahead, give it your shot, brother.
Well, just, take us back to the day of the accident. How'd that day start? And, was it normal? And then kind of walk through how everything unfolded as you remember moment to moment.
On that particular day, at that year, I had started doing healthy things. So I was exercising like every day. And so I woke up, I went to the gym. Used to go to the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning, came home. As I tell my other testimony, I was looking good that day. Like
go on, girl.
I love that. Loving to hear that.
You wearing your new clothes. I remember I had on a gray suit and a nice little blue top. And I bought some leather boots for $29.99. I got on sale. You couldn't tell me nothing. I was work that day. Had on some nice earrings. It started off as a normal day, but usually I never went to work on January the 2nd. For the last 10 years, I used to take off 2 weeks at Christmas. So the only reason why I was going to work on that day is I had a new employee starting, and I was meeting her at the job. So I was driving on the road, as you mentioned, was Clifton Road, and out of nowhere, it wasn't raining. It was a dry, normal day. And then from nowhere, there was a crash with a tree that fell on the car. And I don't remember what your question was. Am I keeping on track for the question?
No, you perfect. You definitely perfect. You
when I was really driving, it was a normal day. As I said, it wasn't raining. Everybody thinks it was raining, but it wasn't raining that day. And I heard a loud noise, but I didn't know what it was. So I looked down, I saw the branch going through my stomach, and I thought I could just pick it up because I was still alive. And I thought I could pick it up, so I tried to move it, but it wouldn't move. So then I just say, okay, this is the way I'm going to die. Because when I saw that tree, the branch there, there's no way I thought I was going to survive. So I entered straight into prayer, and I just wanted my son and my grandson. My granddaughter wasn't born yet, but I just prayed that they would be at peace without me, because looking at the scenery, I was awake, and I said there was no way that I could live past this. And I just prayed for them to be at peace without me, because I didn't think I would live. So that's what I did that day. Yeah.
Wow.
So you begin to realize the extent of your injuries and how unfathomable the situation really was. What else was going through your mind at that time? What else was going through your mind?
I just thought I was going to die, so I just waited to go. I mean, just sitting there with the trees down and the power lines are down. No, the rescuers couldn't come to me at that time. They had to get the clearance for the wires to make sure the wires aren't hot. But thank God, God sent me a guardian angel, a guy who I've not found yet. And if anybody out there can find him, I think his name is Jay Bolton or something like that. He came to my window, and he had the trees down over the car. I don't even know how he got there. And he asked me, could he call someone? And then I told only number that I could remember. So if anybody, you better remember phone numbers. I could only remember my sister's phone number. So I had him call her, because I tried to call 911. My phone dropped out my hand and I couldn't reach it. So the guy, Jay, stayed there with me until the rescuers could get to the car. But he didn't even know how much danger he was in. So he comforted me at that time, because I wasn't going to God still had me here. I thought I was dying, but I wasn't. I was still awake. I was conscious. At that time, I didn't feel any pain. I think I was just in shock. So I didn't feel any pain at that time.
Let me ask you a follow-up, Sylvia. So I'm just trying to wrap my head around what happened. and with a little bit more detail. So the tree falls on you. It's a clear day, no rain, no nothing. So first of all, it's just like the utter shock of where did this daggone tree come from? Then you say you looked down and you saw a branch and you thought you would take it off you, but it had actually pierced through your body. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that is correct. I didn't see any blood, I didn't see anything. I just saw this branch, and it was just there. And we didn't know the extent that it had gone all the way through until the rescuers, the first responders, started to cut it down to get me out the car. And we did not know it had gone all the way through until they started lifting me up. And that's when they started saying, it's gone all the way through. And it had gone all the way through. They said it went in from my left side of my stomach and it exited the right side of my buttock.
So it had actually impaled you, man. I mean, just the thought of it.
All the way through the body. And trust me, that tree is a pain in my ass right now. So that's the tough.
Oh my, that was a good one.
Oh my God, that's a good one. That's a good one.
My. Okay, so who picks it up from here? I think it's Kenny. Kenny, you pick it up from here.
Sylvia, wow. I mean, this story is really intriguing. But my question is, the first responders played a crucial role in your survival. What do you recall of their efforts, and what bonds, or have you established any relationships with them since then?
Yes, I have a relationship with all of them, especially the one who led the call was Captain Goins, Jeff Goins. He was the captain that day. And they, invited me to, I went to his retirement party, retired, and I went to some of their functions and things. So he came to when I just did a taping with another company, and he came to that taping. So still, we have a very good relationship. And the key thing, what I told him when I went to, he won an award for that rescue. And I told them if they did not believe, they could have walked to that scene and just walked away. If they saw, anybody would see something like that, you don't think you're going to see any survivors in the car that's smashed like that. You turn around. So I told them that if they did not believe in God, to go there and just rescue, they could have given up and just walked away and let me die right there. But their strength and their faith in God, and they all, they kept me calm while I was there. They was, keep your hands still, so I won't cut your hand off. They were just, and they were just making jokes and stuff. I remember everything. I was awake. So
That takes me right back to the first part of this question. What do you remember of some of the things, some of their efforts, some of their bedside manner, some of their calming things? Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I remember them. They were just saying, keep still, keep calm, and we're here for you. Relax. Just keeping me comfortable while I was there. But because I did, once they started sawing the tree down, it started shaking. Yeah. So that's when the pain started, and I started screaming. Yeah, so that's when I felt that pain. It was excruciating pain.
We have a question from Rodell Wright. You might know Rodell or the Wright family out of the Annapolis Garden area of Annapolis. He's asked, how long did the rescue take? Do you recall that, or were you just kind of like time had stopped, or for you? No. Take us through that in Rodell's question.
Well, for me, it seemed like it took an eternity, but I think
sure.
the whole what we were fortunate about at that scene was the Georgia Power Company was right. Everybody was right there. So It was just an act of God that everybody that needed to be there was there. So they didn't have to wait for the Georgia Power people to come. The rescuers weren't far away because they had gone to a false alarm that was in that area. So they were there. So I think it took around 13 minutes to get me out of the car and then put me in the ambulance to take me to Grady. But I'm not quite sure, but it wasn't really that long.
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
Armand Wallace says, you're an amazing angel anointed by God. Must have been no other way, Armand. You know what I mean? No other way.
Only God, brother.
Thank you so much.
And he said, just
one thing I will say about that, to people who have faith, there's only very few people know, like when an accident happens like that and you survive, because the doctor said that they didn't do anything. They said there was no medical way to save me, that you've been touched by God. And I've had only few people say, can I touch you? And that's very powerful, because people
Wow.
like me who are survivors have been anointed. And there's very, very few people to realize how powerful this accident and survival is. And it's very, very powerful.
Let me ask you another follow-up question, because I'm trying to listen and process everything. You said earlier in the interview that some guy came, before you say some guy came and calmed you, you made the statement of, if anybody knows where he is, let me know, or something to that effect. Is that connected to the person that calmed you? Are you referencing that? So, and if have you ever seen this person again, ever?
Never saw him again. The news reported on it, and they searched for him in Atlanta on the local news, was calling for me to find my guardian angel. And I feel that my story, I'm getting emotional on that one. I know people want me to write my book or do the movie, but my story's not complete until I find him. He's just someone I have to find. My grandson's supposed to help me. My grandson's supposed to help me do a video to go out there and try to push it around for people to find me, because his girlfriend worked at Emory, but I don't know who she was. And everybody was so distraught when they got the phone call. They don't remember who the person was to call my boss and tell him that I was in the accident.
So this person, what did you say his name was again?
As far as I can remember, his name was Jay. I think it was Bolton. But by the time I called his cell phone number, it wasn't connected anymore. So I never found him.
Okay. Yes. This is getting deep. Okay, but because I'm just thinking that was an angel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With my mind. Audience, help me out on this. Help me out on this, audience. And Darlene Collins thinks so as well.
Yes, sir, Darlene. Angel.
Pamela Williams said, hem of his garment. Sometimes
I
God will
like
send somebody. Send somebody in a moment of need to say, hey, look, this person is going to help you through this. And it's amazing that you've never, ever been able to hear from them again. That is just absolutely astounding to me, but let's continue on. Fascinating. It's the only thing I can say. Just fascinating.
Yes, I agree, Lenny.
Story so far, and that's why we've been wanting to get you on. So go on, Q. Pick it up from here, brother.
Well, Sylvia, if you could just tell us about the sustained injuries that you took place, and I didn't know you had multiple surgeries, and it was a long recovery. What was it that kept you going through all of it, Sylvia? Just tell us. I know God was involved, but just tell us what kept you going.
Well, when I arrived at the hospital, I was still awake. And they had to put me out. I never lost conscious, but they put me out and they put me in a medically induced coma. And I've had over 25, I don't know, I've lost count of surgery. I had over 25 surgeries. So it damaged my colon, which I'm gonna have to have some work done on that coming up. And it damaged my bladder, the ureter, the tube that connects the kidney. The tube that connects the kidney to the bladder was clipped by the tree. So they had to put that back together. I lost a lot of skin on my stomach, so I had to reconstruct my stomach. But thank God the size of the limb pushed my organs apart. So most of my organs were not damaged because of the size of that limb. So God looked out again. Because it was like a piercing gash. It would have pierced some of the organs, but it just pushed them all apart. So all my organs were saved. So I was in the coma for about a month, medically induced coma. And yes, you can hear people talking. So be careful what you say when people are in comas, because I had a nurse that was dead.
You could still hear things there. Okay, that's awesome.
Well, I didn't know I was in a coma when I was telling the story. It was a nurse that was dancing because I had got pneumonia, and he had to move the bed to get the mucus out of my chest, and it was moving. He was dancing. He was saying banana, 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 and he was doing his little hands like that. He was dancing. And so when I told the story, they said, you couldn't have heard him because you were really deep into your medically induced coma. And I described him to the T, how he looked. My mother, when she would stand over me, I can remember her, I don't know exactly what she was saying, but I could see her lips moving, and, everybody, like my niece, everybody came up. My son, I remember seeing him stand over me. but you can kind of hear. And then I forgot what the other question was. The question you
Well, I mean,
said,
on that, I mean, response wise, were you trying to respond? Did you feel like what level of like consciousness were you on? I mean, just I know you were absorbing the information, but were you trying to react to it and weren't able to react,
when,
or
when
how
they
was that?
would walk away, I thought I was telling them don't leave. But because I remember when people were walking away and I just was like, don't leave. That's what I thought I was saying. But I didn't
Right,
know that I was in that coma, but that's how I remember it.
I see.
But the injuries, I still have permanent damage in my right leg. I have nerve damage, so I still use a walker or a cane sometimes, and pain every day. Where that tree went through that butt, there's no pain medicines that where that pain is constantly there. That doesn't go anywhere. And
Wow.
Oh wow.
but I did say in one of my testimonies, I feel blessed to have pain because the other way, if you don't feel anything,
Yeah, if you
that's
don't
a
feel
disaster.
nothing, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
That
Well,
wouldn't,
I'd rather
that
move
wouldn't be a
my
good
pain.
sign. Huh?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I'd rather move with my pain than be still with no pain.
I tell you, it's just it's amazing to even hear in reference to you will talk to somebody that was in a coma and have that perspective. I've never heard that, and that's I mean that's amazing. But describe your job at the time and the support you received from your coworkers, your friends, etc. And you know what does that healing process? What was that healing process for you?
Well, I was in the hospital. I went January 2nd. My first time going to my house was April the 17th. Was the first time I went home. So not expecting anything. So when I first got home, it was just me and my sister. And a lot of people don't understand how critical I was at that time. When I checked myself out of the rehab early because I was not progressing. They just wanted, I had good insurance from Emory, so they wanted to keep me in as long as they could. So they weren't trying to progress. I was still laying there doing nothing, still had a catheter connected after 4 months. So I was like, I don't want to be here anymore. So we checked out. But when I got in the house, it was me and my sister. And we looked at each other like, okay, what do we do now? And so she had to like take me back and forth to the doctor. I came home in a wheelchair. So she took me back, and forth to my doctor's appointments and changed my wounds. I had a lot of wounds and things like that. So she took care of that. And I had a ileostomy tube. I thought I turned my phone. I had an ileostomy tube that was like a colonoscopy tube. Is that what you call it? Temporary. I had one of those temporary there. So we had to take care of that, and also had a tube and a nephrostomy tube that was connected to my kidney. So for the first 2 years, I was had a lot of tubes still connected to me as I was going through the surgery. The huge surgery from the injuries was in August of 2014. I had to do the reconstruction of the stomach and connect the tube back to my kidney and bladder. And it was only supposed to be maybe 12 hours, and it ended up being 16 hours. That was very dangerous. Very dangerous to be on. And I had to go back on life support again after that surgery. So that was another challenging time. And
how long did that process stabilize?
Right. But I had throughout the first 2 to 3 years. Well, the first 2 years I was in the hospital, I was only home for like 30 days, but not consecutively. I counted them. When I would come home, I would write down when I was home. So it was only 30 days, but not all consecutive. And I was back and forth. I had that tube kept getting, nobody knows how to take care of those tubes that are connected. They keep getting infected, had emergency surgery because the tube wasn't maintained correctly and things like that. So I went around with tubes for almost 3 years that were connected. But thank God, when you saw me go, you mentioned in that intro that I went on the cruise, I was finally able to finally travel again and went on the cruise to celebrate my friend. I forgot how old she turned. I think she turned
50?
70.
70.
No, 70.
He commented on it. I like the comment from Cheryl Queen. She said, there was definitely a call on your life. No question about that. I like that comment, Cheryl.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Cheryl. Thank
Absolutely. And before my question, let me just be clear. You said of the 2 years, you were home 30 days? Is that what
30 days out of those 2 years, not consecutive.
Not
As soon as I was home, As soon as I would get home from the hospital, when the home health nurse come take my vital signs, my heart rate would be 145 at resting. She had to send me back to the hospital. I had to go right every time I came home. I had to go right back every time I came home, right back to the hospital. So I was just in and out. For those 2 years, I wasn't walking. I was still in the wheelchair for 2 years, walking a little bit with the walker. So the third year is when I was able to start walking again.
Wow, that kind of leads me to my question. During this time, during this trying time, in and out of the hospital, being only home 30 days for 2 years, were there any surprising acts of kindness you got from maybe co-workers, friends, and family that you received? And tell us about a few of them, because I'm sure you did.
Well, we're going to start. I will always appreciate my sister there, because she was there during the most critical time of my life, when you still had all the tubes and you needed, to feed me and things like that. So that critical time right there, my son, he went right into making sure all of my bills were paid, because for those 4 months, I wasn't able to maintain my bills. The first thing I said when I got out of my coma, I looked at my son and I said, oh no, my mortgage not paid. And I said, my bills aren't paid. He said, yeah, your bills are paid.
Oh, so my God. That's another blessing. Another blessing.
Yes, God.
That is definitely another blessing. To have all that going on.
Yeah.
To have all that going on, and then your bills popping in your mind. That is a blessing. My goodness.
But he refinanced my house and took my mortgage down $200 a month. And then the overwhelming support that I had from co-workers, the Karen that's on here on the live, her family sent me, her family, I'm sorry, I get emotional on that.
No, take your time, sister.
Sends me notes and cards from 2013, literally to now. Karen and I just went to a play on Sunday with her family with their kind words, and they used to bring food, that was, then I'm going to the early stages and stuff like that, and continue to be in my life to this day. I have another person that doesn't want me to say their name, but they contribute significantly financially to my my care. She contributes a lot of money to my care, because everything, when you are injured, your things you need to buy, like your walkers, your cane, your things you need for your bathtub, that's not covered with insurance. So
it's not.
The expenses that you have, you going to the doctors. I've already had 3 or 4 doctors this month. I mean, you're paying your copay. So this lady, she paid a big chunk of my towards my house. So I'm on target to have that paid off, hopefully within the next few years. Kent, he also, he's very, very generous and everything. And then with my niece, like when I was in the hospital, I mean, everybody know I keep my hair done, I keep my nails done. I don't know if you see my little fingers. When I was in the hospital, my niece told me I was her guinea pig, but she used to, she always kept you couldn't come to the hospital and visit me. You wasn't gonna see my toes, my nail, my hair was done. My niece kept it going.
I got a question. Did Kent, when Kent came to see you, did he say, oomph? That's Kent's thing. Oh, face it.
That's Kent's trademark.
That's his trademark.
But on the real, we got some questions. I just want to throw a couple questions and comments in that we passed by. Karen Parker says, remember, Sil, someone called at the ICU at the Midtown first because that was the only neonatology that they knew of. Sherry in NICU then called me. She couldn't remember who, but she said possibly that was your angel. I don't know if you recall that story that Karen is bringing up.
The guy that came to my car girlfriend worked at Emory, and she was the one who called where Karen's talking about. We have several different locations, so they called the Midtown location, which is downtown. And I worked at the main the main campus over at Emory, And that person who was my guardian angel's girlfriend is the one, because you know how phones at work only ring to the one person. My phone only went to me, so they couldn't get in contact with my boss, so they called another one. And Karen, we worked together we were working together when I was in that accident. And but I still don't know who the people are with the phone call. And I know Karen was one of the first people. She was one of the ones that first got the call at work that day.
Has your experience changed your perspective on blessings of life, and what did you immediately look at differently? Job, money, etc.
Well, I forgave a lot of people, including a picture up there, my father.
That's awesome.
My father, we never had any kind of relationship at all. Like, I mean, being in Annapolis so small, he was not there, at all. And I was not speaking. He speak to me, I would say, what the F you, who you talking to? I would literally cuss, don't even speak to me. But after I had that accident, he called and he asked me, could he come and visit? And he was so surprised. I said, sure. And I said, you can stay at my house. And he was stuttering. He was so surprised. So that relationship, changed. And I forgave a lot of.
That's awesome.
A lot of people I didn't have good experience with. I've forgiven them in life. And I used to want to be rich, but my life is being rich.
Right.
I always wanted to do that. So now money, like, I could have this is not a true story, but I could have a cutoff notice and I'd be like, well, I got my life. So I look at life a little different. And trust me, now I know there's truly a God. Because that's what got me through. Because I never knew what this meant. When people say, if you can't pray for yourself, just call Jesus' name. And I didn't realize I couldn't pray for myself when I was going through this. And all I'd say was Jesus. And every time I would get down, I would call his name. And that got me through also. And I just look at life. As Quavy, he said I was so chill. If this is happening before my accident, I wouldn't have been chill.
Yeah.
But I'm really chill, patient.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't sweat the small stuff anymore. Yeah.
You went to a whole higher level. It's amazing.
This is man. You mentioned avoiding news about falling trees. Has the accident left you with lingering anxieties, like when you drive in and it may be a storm or something like that?
That's a good question, Kenny. Good question, Kenny.
Do you get jittery, anxiety?
Well, that video, look, I got a tear that's hanging up there. I do have to get that's been hanging there. I don't even want to. I hate saying. I don't know if it happens, but I really think I black out going past trees. It really gives me PT. I don't like to see trees at all. So it does give me anxiety to this day.
Man, so how do you deal with that? Do you woo-saw? Do you just pray, God, I'm gonna get through this?
Well, I can say, oh my God, there's some trees. I said, oh my God, that's all I say in the car. I go, oh my God, there are trees. That's what I do. And then hopefully I get past them. And then my heart rate goes up, and then once I'm past the trees, then I feel better. But they do give me anxiety.
Well, amen, sister. I think Paris Lane put on here that you just know that you are loved, but also know that you are too blessed to be stressed.
No question about it.
But nor to be disappointed. Your testimony tonight here, ma'am, is amazing. God bless you.
As Margaret said, you are rich through the blessings of God.
The blessings of God.
But Sylvia, you've shown incredible resilience through your experience. What advice would you give to someone who's coming through a life-altering event? Other people have gone through events like that. What advice would you give to people who've gone through things? I mean, you were actually, I hate to say this again, but you were actually faced death head on and managed to come through shining on the other side from tragedy to triumph. What advice would you give to someone?
And Rodell says the same thing before you answer. Rodell said something similar.
Yes.
He said, what message of wisdom can you share with us about life based on this experience? So those questions are similar.
Right.
Opine for us.
I think she
Well,
definitely.
the one thing, I'm blessed to have a really, really great family, friends, co-workers, everybody. I'm blessed, but never ever give up, because for some reason when I was in that hospital, I never felt sitting laying there. I never felt scared. I just because the doctor, when he talked about what the healthcare, he would say, "I'm going to go home, pray first, then I'll come back and tell you what I'm going to do." And then he would go home. Dr. Danner is his name, and he would go. He'd come back, and I thought it was crazy. I thought it was crazy to say, "Okay, I got to have emergency surgery, but you're going to go home and pray overnight." I thought it was crazy, but he would go and he said he prayed, and he came back. I prayed to God, and he said, "This is what I'm going to do." He was led by God, so I felt at ease being in that hospital. And I would tell people not to give up, because couldn't move anything but my fingers and my toes. And I started moving my feet, and I started to be able to lift up. It was just a gradual thing, and just don't give up. Don't stop moving, because my motto is, if I'm laying in the bed, I'm in pain. If I'm moving, I'm in pain. So I choose to move. So I don't.
Right.
I like that.
I will try anything once. I don't tell you I can't do it. I'm gonna try it once, and that will tell me that I can or cannot do it. And
All right,
just pray.
Stepping into trying things once. Has this experience brought you any new ventures? I know you're doing some inspirational speaking, but any documentaries, or have you considered writing a book?
Man, yes. That's a good question, Natural. Good
I'm in
question.
the process.
I want to know why
I'm in
Hollywood
the
didn't come
process of
calling.
writing. They did come calling them. It was back in 2019, but when COVID, we had just found a writer. But when COVID came through, then everything kind of shut down, and now the production company's kind of not together. There was a production company out of Los Angeles, but I was like, I couldn't really talk about it at that time. But so I'm not with that production company anymore. So I'm starting to do my own thing, writing, and then I'll probably figure out whether I'm putting it on the screen or not. So
Okay.
it's in the works. It's in the works.
Okay.
Let us
Wish you the
know. Let
best.
us know, because we
That is good to hear. That is good to hear.
we'll definitely help you with anything that we can help you with on that aspect, even if it's just to get it to somebody that
Okay.
can get further.
Okay.
So
Your story definitely needs to be heard.
no doubt. Who up, Kenny?
Right.
Absolutely. You kind of touched on it, but touch on a little bit more. What are some of your future aspirations and goals do you have going forward? What's next for Sylvia?
Well, before the accident, I always wanted to be an inspirational speaker. So I think that I want to start doing that more, because when I tell that story, if I'm out and I'll see somebody and I mention it to them, and they'll say, "You just don't know what I'm going through." And they said, "Your story has inspired me, and what I'm going through is just minuscule to what you're going through." And it kind of changed a lot of people's lives. So I think I'm going to get back out there like I was before and spread the word of God's grace, because it was nothing but a miracle that I'm here. And let me see, I want to do some more traveling, stuff like that. Maybe I'll join y'all cruise one of these years.
All right, now. That's what I'm talking about.
Ken Bernard said you better take your
that Mercedes-Benz walker to the beach this
walking
year.
to the beach this year.
Go ahead, Kent.
He's a
He
fool.
talking about that. Kent got me this. When I used to go to the beach, the walker that I had, the wheels don't turn on the sand. So Kent bought me this Mercedes style walker. Everybody calls it Mercedes walker. And the wheels actually. Thank you for the gift, Kent. Thank you. It'll be put to use in about 2 weeks when I go to Myrtle Beach. So I'll be using it, Kent.
All right.
Robert Clark.
Robert Clark said, "But God, parole loves you, Sylvia." That's good. That's good.
Thank you.
It's a story, Cheryl, it truly is a story of faith and courage and perseverance. I agree with you, Cheryl. No question about that.
Right.
Sylvia, is there anything that we've missed that you would like to leave with the audience with? Is there anything that we might not have covered during this interview that you'd like to leave the audience with? Anything that you'd like to say at all?
I can't think of anything, but people out there, I want to thank everybody, the I mean, I have the best support people in the whole wide world. And I just want to encourage other people, you know, somebody that you personally know that's going through things, like check on them and see if they need anything. Because I know people see me on Facebook and think everything's going fine, but I still need help to this day. And, you know, because I mean, just offer somebody that you know that went through something, just a little things that you do really come to. Somebody give me a glass of water, that even helps. And I appreciate everything anybody's done for me. I appreciate all the financial support. I appreciate all the support that I get from everyone. And I just feel so blessed with that the support that I have.
I'd like to see this come to fruition as far as, you know, this belongs on film. And we'd like to see your story come to fruition in some way, shape, or form. And hopefully we can be a part of it and helping that take place, you know. God has truly blessed you. I know He's going to continue to bless you. And as many people have said, Margaret, Nick, and many others, Cheryl, and others on the screen, Reno Brown and others, you have truly been blessed. And we hope that you continue to be blessed and be blessed with this, perhaps this story coming to fruition and being told on a mass level, to the mass.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me to your show. I enjoyed it. Anytime.
We really
want audience. Look, we want you all, audience. Excuse me, audience. Anybody
Look,
that's
I'm trying to get back in the camera.
Anybody that's out there, can y'all just say thanks Sylvia for joining us and telling the story, because look, her story in a strange way is a story that you've heard and experienced with somebody in your life somewhere along the line. It's the story of triumph over tragedy, as we have entitled this show, and it's her version of what happened in her life and what her triumph is. But I know the inspiration that you heard from Sylvia can manifest itself in many ways, and that's another reason why we wanted you on. So audience, can you just thank her? Let me see some thank yous. I need to see 15, 20 thank yous like popping up on the screen. Like you can give her money if you want to. You can hit her on YouTube and we'll send it to her. But thank the lady. Let's see some thank yous coming up here.
All right.
And fellas, closing thoughts. Everybody.
First of all, Sylvia, thank you again for your time and for your testimony. It was so inspiring, and I'm sure it helped and touched a lot of people, a lot of our studio audience. I can't thank you more, and we're looking forward. We'll probably have you back in future segments of the show, definitely. Okay. But again, thank you. God bless you.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Big brother.
Sylvia, I'd just like once again, as everyone has said, we want to thank you once again. And your story is just so inspirational, and that I'm really feeling that this story needs to be told to the masses. I mean, you see so much garbage on TV and movies and things of that nature. A positive story with a positive outcome like yours needs to be told to the masses. And this is something that we really would like to get behind that and push this. I saw Brother Armand said that, if you needed a ghostwriter, he had some available. Well, there's all kinds of help that's going to will be available to you.
Absolutely.
Should you decide to move forward in something like this. Arden, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Hey, thank you for your presence. And I really want to thank everybody that supported you. I mean, because without all of that support, your spirit would not be as beautiful as it is from going through all of this.
Absolutely.
And I receive and really appreciate the lessons you've given from what you've learned going through. And we always say, you don't just go through things, you grow through things. And you grew to the point of seeing that, life isn't all about money. It's more so about that love. It's more so about those relationships. It's more so about your health. And, those jewels you dropped on us, I hope people didn't miss it. You know what I mean? Because, everybody listens to the story, but what you got out of this story is incredible. The person you've become. And one thing you said really touched me, because so many people almost give. You walk down the street, somebody might be hungry, and you're like, yeah, I had the money, but the light was green, so I just bounced. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the light turned green. But that almost give can have somebody almost live, you know. But to give is super priceless, and you never know how you save somebody's spirit. It's not about the money, it's not about the time, it's about their soul and their spirit, and how you can elevate somebody just by giving them that moment, that second. And you know, the price is a bit of your time, but the gift of having that and having that person's spirit changes immense. Just like the brother Jay, they came over and stayed with you for that moment. You know, God works through people, and so don't almost give. Be that gift from God that you know that we all can be. You know, so you know, you help me strive to be that tomorrow and ongoing. So I definitely appreciate you, man. You changed my life. You know, just with your story and talking to me.
And 1 hour,
What you
in
got
1
out of
hour
that
time. And that's why I
Yes,
say it's so
sir.
powerful. Excuse me, Arden. That's why it's so powerful. In 1 hour's time, it can change
Yes.
somebody's life. And I just want to jump in because we're at the end here. Sylvia, thank you so kindly for coming on. We've been wanting to tell you, help to tell your story or shed light or expand your story to other ears. And we just want to wish you the most blessing and all the love that you getting on the screen with all the comments. Just beautifully says for yourself, you know what I mean? This is what you call getting flowers while you're here.
Yes, sir.
And
Right.
That's what we want. So audience, look, we want to thank y'all for joining us too. If you know other inspiring stories like this, if this is your first time ever watching the Night Brother Show, we do helpful, uplifting health subjects as well as inspiring stories, and as well as the stories that's in the news at the time to really talk about the things that's going on in life. And if you know of any, send them our way, and we'll be happy to showcase them as well. And until next time, we want to give everybody woo to Sylvia. You know what I mean?
Love
Yes,
you.
indeed.
Love
Yes,
you.
indeed. So,
Love you. Thank you so much, dear.
Happy
Yes.
birthday to my little brother underneath
Yeah.
right here, down here, man. Happy
Had a brother
birthday,
yesterday.
birthday to the brother.
oh yeah,
Someone
yesterday
asked
was
if
my
you had a
birthday.
cash app. Someone asked if you had a cash app. Do you have a
Cash App or Zelle?
I got to sell. My Cash App is hacked, and I can't get it unhacked. Like Zelle is under my email, SYLVE. No, I don't know if I'm. It's under my phone number, but I don't know if I call it.
I feel you.
I feel you.
Well, she's on Facebook. You can just go to Facebook and inbox her, and you can show
I'm
your
not
love
used
that
to.
way.
I'm not used to it coming towards Zelle. I'm used to sending it out.
Or you can
Well,
contact
I
Get used to it coming in.
you can contact my brother right here. He'll be happy to get the information over to Sylvia as well.
Yes,
So,
sir. If you contact me, I will get that information out to you. Okay.
all right,
Okay.
all right, y'all. Next week,
Thank you, everybody.
one more thing before we go. This Saturday,
Good night, everybody.
at the in Annapolis, Armand Wallace has his thank you party for the legends of the past and future legends, and the Night Brothers will be there to kind of help them with that as well. We do a bunch of things together, both of our shows. Join them tomorrow night. I wanted to get him on tonight, but I know this story was going to be compelling. So anyway, just go to his event this weekend. Look at his show tomorrow night. Come back next week. Look at the show. We have something interesting and happy for you. Sylvia, we love you, and we thank you all for joining us for another
Love
Night
y'all.
Brothers show.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Peace and love.
Thank you,
Good
Sylvia.
night.
Good night, everybody.
All right.
Thank you.